let's move on to our next topic. The next topic is about next-gen donor, scaling the SDGs with blockchain treasures. Our speaker is Alexander Mazza, Sustainability and Innovation Lead at the Cardano Foundation. In his role, he develops strategic partnership with UN agencies and is dedicated to positioning Cardano as a leading blockchain platform aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. All right, so please welcome Alexandra with a big round of applause.
Hey, everybody. Hi, everybody. It's good to be here. My name is Alex Mazza, and I'm going to try to share with you my slides, which are here. Oh, okay. Holding slide. Today, I want to share with you my ikigai, my purpose, my passion, and essentially something that brought me to Cardano, which is a blockchain that was communicated by Charles Hoskinson, its founder, as a blockchain with a purpose 10 years ago in a TED Talk. And 10 years since then, this blockchain has actually done things and is ready to become the blockchain with a purpose. Today, we have a significant challenge facing us. Each and every single year, the Sustainable Development Goal financing gap increases. These $4 trillion each year are meant to fund peace and prosperity for people and the planet by 2030. This is 4 years from now, and we're super far from that. And as you can see, this is a mounting problem. Now, at the beginning of this year and through the rest of this year, you may have been seeing these kinds of headlines, essentially saying the main organizations that are responsible for trying to foster and steward the Sustainable Development Goals have lost some of their funding. And so beyond the financing gap, the operational gap that we see today is growing. Now, what does that mean for us as people? What does it mean for our planet? What does it mean for the work that we do as blockchain innovators, as technology innovators, etc.? Well, blockchain is often seen as a solution looking for a problem. And I would say that blockchain is actually a solution to a very small part of the problem, but an important one. This is the handshake that I believe Cardano is in a leading position to make. Now, what is blockchain adoption? Very simply put, it's about having transactions on-chain and generating value for an on-chain economy. Typically, what you see in sustainable development are countries, nation states, NGOs, etc., financing these UN agencies and no longer wanting or being able to. From the purpose of a blockchain economy, all that matters to Cardano is that if something is used, that it generates transactions on-chain. And so there is a potential for circularity where people, planet, profit, and blockchain adoption, which I need to find a P word for, but I haven't quite found it yet, can work hand in hand for a better world and faster adoption of this incredible technology. And I'm not the only person that thinks this. Actually, the #1 and some of the leadership at the United Nations Development Program thinks this too. And just last week, me and a few others in the blockchain space from leading foundations of L1s, L2s, stablecoin providers, exchanges, were invited to New York for this high-level strategic engagement about blockchain for development. And the question and the call to action was pretty simple. We believe in your technology. We believe in its ability to potentially solve some of our issues. How do we work together? How do we co-create a better world using this? And so off of this, I'm here today to share a few ideas with you. The idea that on-chain treasuries could be agents of change. That the fact that you can deploy capital from this reasonably small amount compared to the $4 trillion that is financed as a gap, the $60 billion that is missing from the UN today, but could serve as catalytic funding to enable UN agencies and others in the humanitarian and aid sector to innovate greater efficiency, greater effectiveness, using blockchain-based technologies. Now, out of the top 20 on DeFi Llama, if you exclude crypto foundations, you have approximately $16.5 billion. All of these have on-chain governance. And for those of you that are not very deep into all of this, on-chain governance simply has 3 ways of governing a digital economy that is a blockchain, like Cardano as a layer 1. You can update the protocol the same way that you update your Mac or your Microsoft computer. You have a bit more of a decentralized approach here. You can change the parameters of your digital economy. You can change the tax rate of your digital economy. You can change the way that the speed of data moves through a blockchain, the speed of cars on your roads. But most importantly, for today, you can have treasury withdrawals. You can use your country, your nation, your network state's sovereign wealth fund to go and do something useful for your home base. And in this case, Cardano has the largest L1 on-chain treasury, which is currently valued at $1.4 billion. And we've actually done a lot of work with this over the past few years with regards to the Sustainable Development Goals. Actually, between 2022 and now, so over the past 3 to 4 years, approximately $150 million have been distributed from the Cardano treasury, primarily through Project Catalyst, which you've just heard about today. And I'm going to have to speed it up because I don't have too much time. But in a nutshell, what you'll see here is $10 million of that went directly to over 150 SDG-related projects. This is not the Cardano Foundation. This is not another founding entity that decides this. This is a global community of ADA holders that decide that impact matters, not only for blockchain adoption, but for the world that they live in. And then we move to 2024 to now. So just as of last year, $6 million have been allocated to these projects with UN agencies, with leading corporates that are focusing on this urgent challenge. And you can see that this is ramping up, right? And I'm just going to share this figure of approximately $270 million of gross national income for Cardano. And why is this important? Why is this figure important? Well, out of this gross national income, which includes transaction fees and other forms of revenue, 2.1% of this actually goes into the sustainability-related projects. And why does that matter? Well, that is actually 3 times more than the average that is expected out of nation states for overseas development assistance, otherwise known as foreign aid. So Cardano is 3 times more performant than the basic baseline. This is really a blockchain that means impact. And one of these solutions that we've seen funded is the SDG Blockchain Accelerator. This was done through and funded by the Cardano community. And what that's enabled the UNDP to do is take a look at 170 different solution maker applications and match them to over 300 real-world problems across the world to try to find different solutions where blockchain actually has a meaningful impact and is not just a solution looking for a challenge, but a solution matching real-world problems. And so what we hope to do, and I invite you fairly soon later this afternoon, is to see how do we take one very small component of what the United Nations Development Program is doing with its SDG Blockchain Accelerator, and how do we have a more thorough program, and how do we support that as an ecosystem that can drive Cardano adoption alongside a healthier, a better world for all. So with that, I thank you, and I invite you to a workshop to discuss this in greater detail. Thank you.
Thank you very much.